Damn
We'll
right.
go now to our final topic, which was this is an interesting thing that I found on Deadline via Dove Kleiman. There is going to be a John Madden limited series upcoming. It was reported that the career of the late John Madden will be the subject of a limited series to be directed by Gavin O'Connor, who has operated in the sporting world. He has done films such as The Way Back with Ben Affleck and the movie Warrior with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. Now, Tom Brady's production company is also behind the series as well. And I'm wondering because this is kind of one of those interesting little mini series. I don't know who could play John Madden at this whatever stage it's going to be in his career, whether it be like late 70s coaching the Raiders or the broadcasting. Um, that being said, going away from Madden specifically, what NFL centric story or player or coach or team would you, Mitch Bala, really relish at the opportunity to see done in a limited format? Could be a movie, could be a limited series, anything that comes to mind.
That's a great question. And for everybody out there watching or listening, he did not give this to me ahead of time. So this is going to be my genuine raw reaction and answer here. I mean, I think if we're going to stick in football, to me, Mitch, honestly, there's one I've always wanted to see, and it may be in movement right now to be produced. I'm not sure if it was that or just people messing around, but there was a topic on another show I was watching recently of sports moments you'd like to see made into documentaries or specials. Maybe this isn't right along the lines of what you are looking for, but I want something on the Florida Gators when Tim Tebow was there, playing with some of those players he played with that had a lot of off the field issues, like Aaron Hernandez, like Percy Harvin, like some of these other guys, and obviously Urban Meyer, who's now, a very, very successful college football coach, horrendous NFL coach, but something like that I would like to see. If we're sticking with NFL, I don't want to say the Patriots come back because I know Tom Brady just made a movie about that you would have a great review about since you
Eh,
saw that movie.
well,
Um,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Deflategate, maybe some. I mean,
All right.
how much more can we get out of the Patriots that we already don't have?
Right.
Is my whole
Yeah.
thing. I'm trying, but like that's the thing is like you can really only say the Patriots, Mitch, because to your point of the bad boy Pistons winning two separate championships, it was always the Patriots. That was a dynasty. There was a couple teams here and there that got in there, won a couple Super Bowls. Peyton Manning did it twice, once the Colts, the Broncos, Roethlisberger with the Steelers, Flacco the one year. I don't know. Do we want to do one on the Seattle Seahawks who won one and lost one and, dive deeper into the after effects maybe of them not running the ball with Marshawn Lynch and why they are where they are now? I mean, I don't know. This is a tough question that
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you go outside of football because there's one that I definitely want to see made into some sort of dramatic. Could be dramatic. Could be documentary. Could be anything. But mine would be about a baseball player. There was a guy by the name of Sam Rice who played in the early 20th century. Do you know about this, Mitch?
I don't know if I do.
So Sam Rice was a player in the early 20th century for a number of teams, including the Cleveland Indians for his final season, but he spent most of his career with the Washington Senators. Did not have uh, the typical start you would see to a major league career. In fact, he got his career off to considerably a late start compared to other people. He had in 1912 he had a wife, he had two kids, two very young kids. He also had like his mother living and his family living in a small town in Indiana. So one day, a storm arose in Indiana and a tornado swept across his homestand, destroying his home, most of the outbuildings of the farm. The tornado killed Rice's wife, his two kids, his mother, his two younger sisters, and then Rice's father survived for another week before dying. So Rice basically lost his entire family in the span of a week when he was only 24 years old. Now, he did play like a little bit of minor league, semi-pro baseball on the side, but his main focus, like many athletes back then, was a job, and then you go play your sport. So then he goes off and works at several other jobs. He joins the U.S. Navy. He was on the USS New Hampshire, and then he ends up joining the Virginia League, and then he gets discovered by the Washington Senators, plays 20 seasons in the major leagues, becomes one of the best of his era as an outfielder, was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1963, won the World Series with Washington, their only one to date until the 2019 series, obviously. And he is known for a defensive moment that he had in game 3 of the World Series in 1925. The Senators were up on Pittsburgh 4-3, and it was in the 8th inning where, with 2 outs, there was a Pirates player who drove the ball to right center field. Rice ran down the ball and appeared to make the catch at the fence for robbing a home run that would have tied the game. Now, after the catch, he fell over the fence and into the stands to the point where nobody could see him. And when he reappeared, he had the ball in his glove. The umpire called the batter out. And the umpire's explanation was that as soon as the catch was made, the play was over. So it didn't matter where he ends up. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different nowadays where if you run into the stands, they consider that momentum into the stands, and then that could affect the gameplay. Washington still lost that series in 7 games, but for years there was a controversy as to whether or not he had actually caught the ball and whether he had kept possession of it. And it was, I believe, on his deathbed, if I'm not mistaken, to where he basically just wrote down a thing that says, "At no time did I lose possession of the ball." Like, he even confirmed it. This was like if Babe Ruth had confirmed on his deathbed whether he had called his shot or not. So I don't know. There's something fascinating about that kind of life that you don't really see in an athlete nowadays, and I think it'd be really interesting for people to become aware of.